Well, good afternoon, and I'm very excited to take you with me on this adventure to Botswana. Why Botswana? Well, because it's one of the most premier eco-conscious destinations offering exclusive, low impact, and high quality wildlife viewing away from crowds. And that's one of the reasons I really like Botswana. When you're out in the bush, you don't see one vehicle after the other, all surrounding the same tree or whatever wildlife they're looking at. And I was in the Okavango Delta, which is very lush in the summertime. In the wintertime, when I was there, you will see some dry grasses and not quite the lushness that you would see in the summertime. But whenever you go, the Delta always has lots of wild animals to see. And now I want to introduce my traveling companion, Wendy Sunquest. And she's going to add a little bit of fun to our presentation today when we get to that part of the trip.
You mean when the lion tries to attack you?
And all of our videos and pictures and sounds are all recorded on our phones. I have a Samsung and Wendy has an iPhone. So it's just quite amazing how well everything turned out. Now, the first sound you're going to hear is the sound that we heard every day, all day long.
Laughing?
Quick. No, we'll try go back to. It's the African Cape turtle dove. And you get used to hearing this, so we don't even hear it anymore. Okay. So we were tenting the whole time. Our trip was June 2nd to June 18th this last year. In Botswana, winter is May through August. The average morning temperature was 43 degrees with frost at times. By noon, the temperatures were in the high 70s, then starting to cool off already about 7 p.m. This is us arriving at the Maun Airport. We went from a large transatlantic plane in Atlanta, Georgia, to Johannesburg, South Africa, then to a 60-passenger plane for our flight to Maun. And this is the plane you see in the picture and behind Wendy. And then the Maun Airport is fairly small, but it is the jumping off place for most safaris. So this is a picture of the little plane that we took next to go from out of Maun. It's very, very narrow aisles, you can see in the top picture. And then you can see a dirt runway down below. And the runways just had a windsock for the pilots to land on, to tell them what direction to land. And then underneath the wheels of the airplane tire, it's kind of hard to see, but there are thorny bushes to keep the warthogs away from batting and eating the tires, destroying the tires. And this is the map of Botswana. The red star at the top is where our plane landed at the Maun Airport. I'm sorry. The gold star is where the airport was, and the red star is the area where our safaris took place. Now notice how around the top you can see Angola, you can see Namibia to the west, and then Zimbabwe up is in the northeast. with South Africa, where we had flown in from on the south. Then this is a picture of the, is our Zoom working?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
How far do you want her to zoom in?
That. So click on your, click on the magnifying glass on the left-hand side,
Okay.
and that'll give you that rectangle that you can grab.
So this is a map of the Okavango Delta. The Okavango River, you can see on the northwest side, streams from the Angola highlands across Namibia, across the Kalahari Desert, that then fans out to form a drainage basin, which is a unique wetland because this basin does not allow the water to flow into other bodies of water, like a river or an ocean. It is this limited drainage that converges into lakes or swamps, spanning out over 5,792 square miles.
It's equivalent. For Western United States, I think. Yeah. It's for them. Then when you're done, just put the magnifying glass again.
So the yellow stars are the different camps that we stayed at.
How far away from each camp?
I can't hear you.
How far, you had 4 stars, how far away, what was the distance between those camps?
I don't know in miles. Sometime it was an hour or more drive. But then you've got to realize we're on some deep sandy roads. We probably were only going maybe 20, 25 miles an hour at times.
The last one, I think, was 4-hour drive.
So I have a question about your camping tents. Were they elevated and you have floors and stuff? No, you're on the ground.
Yeah.
That's a real tent. Okay. I've done the luxury.
Respect for them has just gone up.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Is the sound working?
Yes, you sound great.
Okay, this is our guide pilot, Manga. He was waiting for us for our plane. He drives a 4-wheel Toyota Land Cruiser. Let's see the exhaust pipe, and this is where I wished I had a pointer.
But click on your magnifying glass again and click on that part of the picture and it will get larger for us. There we go.
So you can see the exhaust pipe going right up in front of the driver's door. So that allows us to drive right through deep water.
Oh.
I was looking at the other side of the driver.
Interesting.
And here's Pilot. Pilot was my guide years ago. He is very knowledgeable about the local wildlife. He knows their habits and he knows how to recognize and stay away from a dangerous encounter. He is an excellent tracker, which is important to find most animals. He has infinite patience and a good sense of humor. He just arrived at the truck, and when we walk up, he says, "I have been waiting since yesterday." Also, we will return to camp when we find a fish in a tree. Or he really threw me when he said, "Let's go find the rare impala," because impala are all over the place. We didn't get it right away. The roads were nothing but trails through the grass. Some with
the grass roots.
The warthogs were so amused.
The roots with the
You started the video.
grass roots, the grass roots.
So I can tell it's
The roots with the grass roots, the grass roots.
Okay, if you click on my video again,
The roots with
I can just explain that. But so the warthogs are eating the grass roots, and they're not gonna eat the grass.
the grass roots.
Gives you a bit of it.
They graze the roots with the grass roots, the grass roots. They graze the roots with
1.5 hours, thank you. So imagine, it seemed like a long drive, but we were so excited because we saw hippos, giraffes, zebra, elephants, impala, hyenas, and warthogs on our way. And I wanted to ask, who thought warthogs were ugly? They're really cute.
They're so ugly.
They're cute. And their little white whiskers are so cute. So this is the crew that met us when we arrived at camp. We were greeted by Elena, who is the person right beside Wendy. And then next was Toby. And then me. And in the middle, Wendy, Pilot, and myself. And then this is KG, our fabulous cook. And was lunchtime. Dinner time, we were served at a table, but lunchtime, we walked up to the table and filled our plates. And this is what our tents were like. The front of our tent had a nice canopy with lounge chairs and ground cover. The bath area was open to the sky. And this is the bath area right back there that you can see on the left. The windows and entrances had zipper covers that closed from the inside. In our campsites, we regularly had squirrels, mongoose, and a variety of birds, and some unexpected surprises.
Ben, were these tents already set up and you guys drove to them, or did you set them up every time you were there?
Every time.
They
They
did, yeah.
Yeah, they came with us. And we were happy to learn that elephants do not like the taste and smell of tent material. This is what the insides of our tents look like. We were glad to know, because of scorpions, that the bottom of the tent is securely zippered to the sides. There is a large zippered front door, a small zippered back door. The back door went out to the shower area. And where our toilet and water basins were. And our beds were warm and comfortable. Every night, Elena would bring us a hot water bottle. And this is an idea of what our basins and our shower area was to the left in the corner, and Toby would bring a bucket of warm water whenever we wanted it. And we found out that it was best to shower at noon when it was the warmest part of the day. So Toby would bring us water at that time. And then this is the corner where our toilet was, and our toilet was flushed with a scoop or two of soil that was piled up right there. Real luxury. But it worked.
They have one of those gravity showers that's.
You just turn the thing and nozzle in the water.
Yeah,
It's like
a bucket camp shower, yeah.
but it worked. Yeah, it worked good.
All right.
So our daily routine was, Toby woke us up at 5:30. We had breakfast. Then we had a game drive at 7. Lunch was at noon. We rested between noon and 3 p.m. and then another game drive at 3:30. In the afternoon, we had tea and surprise on the trail. And then dinner was at 8. And this is an idea of some of our meals. KG could just do amazing things. She made the butternut squash one day with fresh dinner rolls. She made this really, really cute crocodile bread
It is.
for lunch one day. And then one night for dinner, we actually had very good tender steak with green beans, carrots, and scalloped potatoes. And then dessert that night was vanilla cheesecake.
She did all of this on an open
Yes.
fire.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Wendy's gonna tell us a little bit more
She
about that.
really was a chef. She was not.
So Elena on the left, our cook, and and our cook KG is cutting warm bread. And this is some of the bread the turban bread that she made that day. And then this is just a little look at what our evening meals were like, with cloth napkins and real silverware and everything. Eating with his head down. And this is the rare impala. They are very plentiful. They are the main food source for the carnivores. And they are beautiful little creatures.
Patty, how many other people were on this trip with you?
Just Wendy and I.
Okay.
Yeah, Pilot just took the two of us.
Amazing.
Now, how many giraffes do you see in that picture?
Three.
Four.
Keep counting.
Five. I see.
Yes, five. 5 giraffes.
Oh, yeah.
It was so fun to see giraffes peeking over the bushes. And there are 22 species of antelope in Botswana. We'll see a few more. Eating with his head down. And this was another campsite. We crossed this pond daily for 3 days. One day I saw this hammercock bird on the opposite shore. It has a really interesting head shape. And this is where we needed that pipe that went over Pilot's front door. Hippos stay in the water most of the day, but come out at night to graze. They are one of the most dangerous animals in Africa, and they are very territorial. And in this pond, at the camp that I just showed you, we had one hippo that Wendy's going to introduce us to.
There was one hippo that they called George. He was way over. He had his own little area. He was the only one there. He was way over on the other side, and actually was kind of sundown. And he was starting, they come out, and that's when they eat their grass. So I yelled at him, and I said, "Hey, George!" And he turned around, and he looked at me, and he started walking towards the water, but as he was doing it, he went, as if to say they're bad. And then the last night before we left, he was actually on our side, and at midnight we heard him going, "Ah, they're still." Actually, I woke up and I thought, "Is that Benny snoring?"
Nice.
Is that George? No, but it's
This is another guy.
like.
Few scars.
How long did we get?
What's their last? I say 35 to 40, I think. Somewhere around there.
This fighting feels fight. Yeah, we were really. And he was out of the water this day. You see, his foods are pretty fresh. He was driven little. And this is a close-up view of the front. What a massive guy he was. And this is a secretary birds getting settled
The
down.
nest is
Oh.
sleeping there. You see the
Yes.
poop, white poop there.
Oh, okay. These birds are 4 to 5 feet tall, so you can see how awkward they were getting settled in. They eat snakes.
Good.
Go after snakes. That's what Pilot thought too. He hates
Nice
snakes.
safe height.
I wish my voice wasn't in there, but I couldn't figure out how to get rid of it.
It was fun. We get to hear you from Africa.
That's right. Very genuine.
So they didn't have a nest. They're sleeping there. You see the poop, white poop there.
Oh, okay.
And this was our first lion. He was such a placid, easygoing looking guy. You felt like you could walk right up and ruffle his mane. But we did.
But you did.
That's nice. Still better, so.
And you can see how full his tummy is, so he had a good night.
And who was with him? Were there others with him or you?
No, he was by himself. He was just by himself laying in the sand,
His girls were
just beside the road.
doing the laundry.
How close did?
Close. Let's say 10 feet maybe. But as long as you're in the vehicle, and you don't make noise, you just sit still. They're used to them. They don't get excited. And he looked like he had a full belly, so that was.
it. So we saw a few Nile crocodiles. This is a track on the road of a crocodile that pilots saw, so he knew that there were some in the vicinity. And the Okavango was just starting to fill in with water. More crocodiles will come as the delta fills in more. And on the left is a Goliath heron, which has a 7-foot wingspan. In the middle is a 5-foot high saddle-billed stork hunting.
What I didn't realize, the beautiful birds that we would be seeing there. They're just gorgeous.
Well, it's a big animal.
Yeah, yeah. And then on the right is a reed cormorant, another big bird. And the southern giraffe. There were 2 kinds of giraffes that we ran into there. And they were just always so beautiful. And see the little ox pecker on his. That's the. So that's a yellow-billed oxpecker. They're red-billed and yellow-billed there in Africa. And this is a picture of a tower of giraffes.
Go figure. Why would they call it?
And in this area, we started seeing palm trees. And we stopped for a little bit. We saw these giraffes across the water. And a couple of the males are jostling a little bit.
Those are some unbelievable thorns, aren't they?
Yeah, aren't they?
Holy.
Look at those. The last time I was in Africa, we actually had a flat tire on the truck because of a thorn.
So their tongues eat around those thorns, which is amazing.
And the giraffes don't mind the thorns at all. They, just their long tongues just can take the leaves off or right around the thorns. And their tongues are pretty tough too. But that was our only little giraffe we saw. That young anyway.
that because of the time of the year you were there?
Yeah. Not quite baby time yet. So this day, it was pretty chilly out, and Pilot told us that this was the day we would have our Macoro ride. So you can see how I'm dressed. And Wendy and I are both clutching a hot drink. And you can see how our Polar is dressed in a down jacket and a wool hat. But it was nice. A Macoro is traditionally a shallow dugout canoe carved from the trunk of large trees like the sausage tree. But to preserve those large trees, Macoros are now made of lightweight metal or fiberglass. So our ride through the Delta was 2 hours, and our Polar was very knowledgeable about the plants and wildlife. And here's a picture of Wendy standing beside a sausage tree, and then a picture of the sausages hanging from the tree. And they can weigh up to 22 pounds for one sausage.
Did you know that when you stood directly?
Are they edible?
Many African wildlife, like the sausage, like the elephants, the baboons, hippos, giraffe, and hyenas. I don't think zebras.
You guys got one open to see what it looked like?
We did not this trip. We got some my last trip I was in. And this was a rare sight. This red crown heron happened to be by the road, and Pilot quickly pulled out a bird call and kept it right by us. He was looking for his mate. But that was pretty special. And then the mammal kingfisher is always a pleasure to see. And the weaver birds and their nests were quite interesting. The weaver bird female builds a nest of grasses, and you'll see 5 to 25 nests like this in a tree, with one big nest that the males build, and then the numerous males stay together in that big nest.
It's a band.
Right. And other birds that we saw were the white-faced whistling ducks on the upper left, the black-winged stilts, which we saw quite a few of, the long-tailed shrikes. The black-sniffed lapwings were all over the place, and then this cute little crested barbet would visit us in camp, and we'd see the crimson-breasted shrike on our drives. And now we have something exciting. Pilot spotted this leopard napping on a limb and noticed how full his tummy is. Just a bulging. Beautiful animals. And this day, now I want you to listen and see if you can hear him hiss. He hisses twice coming down from this tree. And notice when he melts into the bush. And we're going to see that one more time. And how gracefully he comes out. That's a tree. Beautiful. We saw beautiful sunsets. We had a full moon for 3 or 4 days. And then Pilot heard an owl calling. And it was a very soft call, but it was the Varexis eagle owl, which is 26 inches tall and has a wingspan of about 6 feet.
Wow.
A little bit bigger than our great horned owl.
And the sky was light in that photograph, so they don't only come out really at night.
It was just getting to be evening. Early evening. And the African green pigeon, which looks yellow in this picture, but it depends on how the light is shining on the feathers. And the Senegal cuckoo was interesting with his long black tail and brown wings. And then the little bee eater And then we had the fabulous
Oh, yeah.
Lila Baxter Fuller. And we saw a lot of those. They were beautiful.
Yeah.
Always a pleasure.
So are they, would you say the size of a blue jay or?
A blue jay.
Yeah.
Yes, blue jay would be good.
Oh, they're beautiful.
And this day, we found a juvenile spotted hyena babysitting while the adults were all hunting. We were hoping the adults would return, but as evening came and the temperatures dropped, they moved into their cave.
Oh, they're beautiful.
So Betty, did the people stay around that your pilot and the other people, they were camping around you as well
Yes.
and
Oh, yeah. We
had guns just in case somebody wanted to get attacked or whatever?
Right, we were not alone for a minute.
There are no guns. We didn't have guns. No guns. No guns.
Well, the guards at night didn't have guns?
Yeah.
Oh, that was like,
Welcome, Sue.
sorry, I got the wrong place.
No, I just,
Their philosophy is,
He said that lions actually recognize guns. And if they see someone with a gun, they for sure will attack. And so his idea is to preempt before. There was a time that he was a little nervous. They usually won't attack. All the people are worried on him.
and a friend was camping with her daughter and I thought it
They're from Baltimore, they were from Baltimore, right?
well, I situated, yeah, I'm not sure where they live, but we heard the story.
The boy who's in there, and he had food in there, and he decided to feed the hyena, and of course the hyena just came and.
Oh, well, so the story I heard that they just got in the tent. I didn't hear that there was food, but.
Right.
we did have one come into our camp.
I'll talk about that. Okay.
Hyena.
Yeah.
Can we try not one conversation at a time? I'm sorry. No, we got.
I was thinking that the daughter taken away.
But there was food involved, so that's what a hyena wants, is food.
Also, not funky.
But we had no guns with us. He didn't have guns.
I don't know whether they had them or not. I just assumed they did. But not that they would have them out because obviously they don't want to put you in a dangerous situation, but the nighttime stuff is.
We missed all the good birds.
I'll come over to your house at a different time. And invite you to my house.
So who thought hyenas were ugly?
Yes.
I mean, these guys are so cute. Those pups were like maybe 4 pounds. Like you could just walk over and pick them up. They were so cute.
That one on the lower right doesn't look so cute.
This little guy,
I know
Oh, yeah. no, he was a cutie. He was a cutie.
Yeah.
So this day we're driving along and you can see we're in the vastness of the savannah. And here's this young hyena just sleeping right there. So we pulled up alongside of him. He raised his head, he looked at us, laid it down and went back to sleep. Yeah. But he was pretty cute too. But here is a good picture of what our kitchen was like.
Oh, wow. She did all of that.
And
Oh.
it was so compact, so well organized.
It's just amazing what could come out of that kitchen.
Reminds me of the wagon trains.
So here KG is explaining to Mindy how to cook over a wood fire, even something as delicate as a custard. So Wendy, what did she tell you?
So this box, they would put wood underneath it and basically cook from like the coals of the wood. And she made bread in this. There she's making a custard like a creme brulee and putting hot water around it. I mean, all the desserts she made in this, she made the breads. I mean, it was amazing. And then they did have an open fire that had pots on it to make other foods. But we had fresh vegetables every day that were cooked. And that's how she did it. I mean, how she knows the temperature, I don't know. She does.
I know in that big pot on the right, that's empty right now, but that's usually full of hot water. You know, for our showers, for cooking, for everything. Amazing. And she could get bread to rise in that temperature. I can't get it to rise in my kitchen. But here's a black-backed jackal, which are handsome. They are shy and cautious. We didn't see many of them, but they're often found near water holes like this where smaller creatures come to get a drink and they can pounce on them. And then this is a typical water hole where you've got the white pelicans. The wildebeest and then a saddleback stork hanging around. And this was exciting.
Did you have a question, Joanne?
Oh, I just wondered if they got fresh supplies during your trip.
I think one time.
If they got what?
Fresh supplies.
For
They'd
food.
stop at a store. They
No.
get some stuff. That little store, they kind of.
I didn't see anybody bringing anything else. And Pilot was the only one that went in there,
But they did.
because they weren't even with us, remember? It was just us and Pilot. No. No gas either, those tanks lasted us the whole trip. They did have to go somewhere for water.
They did have freezers that had ice packs in them. It stayed very cool.
On video eating this close. We were right beside this elephant. Within Trump. Yeah. Usually was a ball. You know, elephants, Pilot said, can be right-handed or left-handed. So when this guy looks at us,
Left-handed.
gotta look at us, gotta look at his face. Right, look at his tusks. Are you posing for us? He could jerk me out of this car so fast. No, it's one down. Yeah, one down for you.
Was that a little scary being that close to this elephant?
I wasn't scared. But I mean, and I knew Pilot wouldn't have us there if he was in must or anything to worry about.
So I have one question for you. This entire area where you visited and all these camps, is this a preserved land?
They're parks.
Like a national park, preserved?
Yes, every place we were. And some were private, what they call private concessions, and some were like national, like Chobey or National Park. So on video eating. All right. Pilot had been told on the radio that a leopard had killed an impala and the cat had hauled it up a large tree. We hurried to the spot and found the leopard sleeping right beside the road. We waited and he shortly woke up. And we could see the head of the male impala hanging from the tree.
Oh, gosh, that's just.
Whoa, oh my gosh.
Get it up there.
They can drag 2 to 3 times their body weight of an animal up a tree. And they do that so that the lions don't get their food.
Yeah.
How's she tied? What's tied? Is it the
It's
tail?
really draped over.
It's draped over.
Yeah, that's
Where
where
the
the
hind
body
quarters on the other
hanging.
side and
Underneath.
the belly. button.
So when we woke up, we watched him as he went to the tree. Look at how heavy his body is. So then he went on up the tree. And there was nothing left really but the hide and the head, but this one leg still had some meat on it. So he is trying his best to get that where he can get at that meat on that leg.
How often do they need to eat like that? Once a week or?
It depends, sometimes they have to go for days without a kill. So,
This guy was out hunting the next day.
Oh.
yeah,
So they'll eat as often as they can.
Mhm.
This is kind of the good time for they have plenty of food around them, so I think they take advantage of it. And just because they make a kill doesn't mean they get to keep it, because the lions are top of the food scale. They'll grab it from them.
but that's why the leopards get it up a tree as soon as they can. Another day, we found another leopard that had hauled a male impala, which weighs approximately 168 pounds, up the straight trunk of this tree. And I have a video of him going up there, but he went up the back side, and that tree was so big that I could have seen him. All of a sudden, I had the video of him, but he's at the top of it. But if I was standing there, my head, where's my pointer? My head would probably come to about here. I swear.
Oh my God.
About there.
Mine might get a little.
It was that big.
Lions not climb?
Not a lot. They
No,
will
not
do
that
some.
much.
Not that much.
Not a lot.
But see the head up there hanging down?
Oh, wow. That was the head we saw before.
No, it's a different one.
I guess they don't like eating grains.
They said before midnight.
And I'm kind of putting our leopards, together here rather than there's some word separating them. This day we were home and this leopard was on the way. So we saw him walking along and we noticed there was which is a semi-aquatic antelope. So now Pilot's moving onto the road. After the leopard walk. And so we kept an eye on him. And this is the red leechway that he was seeing in the center. And then he decided to go off-road, but he marked his
He's
territory.
watching.
Pilot's telling us that. So we didn't stay around to see if he was going to make a kill or not. We really didn't want to see
He's
it.
marking territory. He's watching.
So we have the African jacana up on the upper left. And these cute little lesser striped swallows on the bottom. And the crested frank on the tip.
Just some of the interesting birds. The jacanas have very large feet with long toes, so they can actually walk on lily pads. They also make their nests on lily pads. And the francolins would run along right in front of our vehicle, even with tiny, tiny little chicks, but we didn't squash any. Another beautiful sunset. And this fish owl was also ending his day. And there was always a welcoming fire morning and evening at camp.
How many people were in this group?
Are we what?
How many people were in
Just Wendy and I.
the? Wow.
Yeah.
With staff of 4 or 5, right? 4.
Wow.
Yes, yes. So these wild dogs form a pack with one pair dominant, much like our wolves do. They are the only pair that have offspring. The whole pack helps feed the mother and the babies. Then when the babies are big enough, the parents can go off hunting, and then they have a babysitter, much like the hyenas do, that will just stay there and keep the youngsters out of trouble. But they're interesting dogs and quite attractive. Of course, I think warthogs and hyenas are attractive too, so. But Pilot tracked the wild dogs to this warthole den.
Wendy?
Yeah.
You need to be sitting.
So that's their den?
Wendy?
Yeah.
You need to be sitting.
This dinner, warthogs going back. So these dogs
So
have big
that's their den?
teeth and tusks when they're trying to
Dig them out.
So the dominant dog doing the digging and the other ones are laying on the outside. But then as you saw, you can hear their frustrations and the that
And if that warthog should bolt from the den, the other ones would get chased immediately.
We don't know what to
This is moving day, and I just wanted to show you another picture of our kitchen. It can be covered from the rain and sun, and here you can see all the drawers that are there available, storage spaces. And I think the canisters were water containers. And then this is what the kitchen looks like when it's all buttoned up, ready to go. Just that little square thing, tent-like thing that Pilot's putting last minute touches on. So now we're moving to another camp. On these moving days, Pilot still took us on our usual morning scouting. When we returned, we were ready to move with having lunch on the road. So on the road, we would see wildlife, like this common female reed buck on the left, a red leechway on the bottom. And then Pilot and Elena would ride in the front, Wendy and I in the back, and then Toby and KG would follow in another vehicle. And this day we stopped for lunch and were visited by this giraffe getting a drink. I saw him come on And I was just hoping he would come closer and maybe get a drink. So he ended up right between the vehicles, just across the way from us there. Pilot's getting tea and surprise ready for our afternoon break. A shell folds out from the front bumper of the Land Cruiser. We were on our way to the Marimi Game Preserve. Marimi is close to the area where Big Cats 24/7 was filmed. If anyone saw that, that's a great video.
It's on PBS, if anybody's interested, it is wonderful.
And now, Pilot saw cheetah tracks on the road, and he spotted the cats a little ways away under a bush. But we drove right over there. Right up close to them. Or they were laying in the shade after having a meal the way their tummies looked. So it was a fan.
Is that unusual for cons or something like that?
No, they can. How they do.
I think it was, mom and dad and two pups. That's what Pilot thought.
Okay.
But they're adolescents, you might say.
They were very calm around us. The one male was a little antsy with our being there. He looked a little nervous and kept his eyes on us. The rest of them, as you can see pretty well, ignored us. And then another interesting thing about the cheetahs is they're so vulnerable to attacks by other cats that they hardly ever lay their head down for more than just a few seconds or so.
They're like the low man on the totem.
And they're the smallest, the lightest weight, the most vulnerable. And they groom themselves pretty much like our domestic cats. Oh, I did it again, trying to get Serena by. Where's Trina?
I'm here because I was downstairs closing your trunk and making sure you're.
I did it again.
It was your car that was open. They misspoke when they said SUV. And so the front desk has your purse.
Right.
This purse.
Yeah, I clicked on it to get it to magnify and it went again.
I bet when you went to hit the lock your car button, you hit the open with front button.
Well, I didn't because I do it on the outside of the.
Yeah. Yeah, if we get back in, we can find out before they.
Oh, I can find it right here.
And did you find her purse?
They had it at the front desk, yeah. But nobody had closed the trunk. It went 49, so I went out and closed it.
Well, I didn't, because when I saw it, I thought somebody was still in the car.
Well, it was
When you had before.
about an hour. Spread it. All right, then go to slideshow. There. And I'll show for your slide.
Here they go. Thank you. There you go.
Do we, oh, I thought you got and checked on your car.
So we stopped at a small village along the way, and that is actually the village store. We saw female baboon, few baboons here. This one had a baby by a dumpster. But otherwise, we only saw a few baboons out in the bush. We didn't see many like I did on my previous trip. But Pilot is very afraid of snakes. He saw cobra tracks on the road, and we soon found the snake slipping into the grass. But this is the only time we got out of the vehicle. We got out of the vehicle to go get a better look at that snake. We did?
I don't remember that. I don't remember doing that.
Only
We got close, but
Yeah, I think we stood by on the road looking at it. So this woman under the thatch roof looking at her phone had bread for sale in there. And it seems everyone in Africa has a cell phone and could use it in the most remote places. I don't know why we can't. Here. Wendy made immediate friends with the woman's little dog in the middle picture. And then the thatched roofs are so beautiful and interesting to me. But the roofs are expensive to buy because the grass comes from the savannah where it's a dangerous place to be working because it can hide big predators like these lions. They can melt into the grass like you see to the right, just a few steps and they just disappear. Tsessebe, wildebeest, and zebras are always ready to run from predators. Tsessebe, while looking upward, are the fastest of the antelopes. And this is a roan antelope on the left, and then the tsessebe is right in front of the zebra, so you can see how they have a rather disjointed look.
Betty, can I ask you a question going back to that thatch? Is that thatch harvested like the peat?
No, they cut the grass.
Okay.
They just cut the grass and put it together tightly. And I don't know if they might soak it, to get it to really pack together. I don't know how what they do after they cut it. Typical antelope African landscape scene with wildebeest, zebras, and vultures and a tree signifying a kill. So the vultures were never these 3 mature lionesses were sleeping. One lioness, there were actually 4. One lioness had babies. The 3 that are sleeping had already eaten their fill. And the single lionesses eat first. The mother keeps the babies away from those lionesses because they might get cuffed and injured, while they're eating. And you can see the mom in the front and then the babies lining along the back.
The one to the right, the little baby, he was so cute to watch. He was so frustrated. He went to chew on an ear because this is wildebeest, I think it was.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, he went to chew on an ear and it was so hard. He couldn't get through it. And then he went to chew on another part and I can't get in there. And finally he went over where the group was to get some of that red meat, but their hides are so tough and they don't have the teeth to get through them. But he was so frustrated.
I know, it was so cute watching him feed on that ear. So now this day, Pilot spotted this lion. I love this thing.
There you go.
So it's planning to eat way back there.
Yes. But I think the one they had first is the other one. But we're going to check.
Going over probably one of the little planes that bringing people in. So I was happily watching him eat, and Pilot stands the vehicle up and moves it, and I couldn't figure out why he moved it. Well, pretty soon that lion left that eating spot, and he's coming right at our vehicle. He still didn't quite know what was happening. But if you ask him to get close, just watch this. Look at the his forelegs. Those.
rolling a little bit.
So the reason he came, I don't know how Pilot knew this, but he knew that he'd be coming for a drink. So right by the vehicle, he got his drink.
So I take it these wild animals are used to humans.
They are, as long as they're not out of the vehicle. Yeah, they're used to the vehicles. And these were two lions here, but the dominant lion ate first.
They're probably brothers, is what Pilot
Yeah,
thought.
probably. So there they are, beautiful, beautiful males.
And these guys came after they ate and they laid down right by our vehicle. And then Pilot sneezed. And at once they both sat up and looked and I said, he did it. He did it. And then they went, oh, okay.
But the one on top looks so sweet at us, you know, he just looks like, you know, he's almost pettable. And then I got thinking, you know, he's looking at us like I look at a brownie.
Baby.
So this is the impressive entry to Chobe National Park. And we have a go-away bird on the top, also called a gray lory. He's a fruit and flower eater, and he's called a go-away bird because in the language, his call sounds like he's saying go away. And then an African darter on the bottom. It's a water type bird. Now, the water buffalo can be very dangerous if you are out of the car. They will charge unprovoked. And there were two beautiful males on the top right. We saw Russell McLaughlin on the trail several times. He is a wildlife filmmaker. His films can be seen on National Geographic Wild, Disney Nature, and Netflix. And the film he's making, when we saw him, he said would be ready in about another year. And this is a large herd of buffalo. And notice that little boy, yeah, he waits for his mom to catch up and then off they go.
You have to turn on forward. Is that an animal in the foreground?
Yes, it is. It's a termite.
Yeah, termite, that's it.
And here is a common water buck. The rump is distinctively marked with a broad white ring. And we saw quite often the red hornbill, the yellow hornbill, the southern ground hornbill, which was a family. And we also saw Bradford's hornbill and the African gray hornbill. The hornbills are about the size of our turkeys, and they do fly up into the lower branches of trees.
With those bills, are they anteaters?
Fruit.
Fruit, more fruit?
I don't think the bills probably would be fruit eaters, nut eaters. They could be nest robbers.
Bring that picture.
And here we saw the greater kudu, the gorgeous animals, but they're really shy in Botswana. They stay in the brush, and we were really fortunate to find this pair where we could get somewhat of a picture. And we didn't take the picture on the right, but I thought you deserved to see what gorgeous animals these are.
I was gonna say, if you took that picture, you should send it in to National Geographic.
That's probably where I got it.
Are you in Chobe now, or you're just somewhere else at one of the other, any park?
I don't know. I don't know, and I arranged the pictures according to that, you know, rather than what part we were in.
I asked because I went to Chobe and they weren't allowed to go off the path.
Yeah.
And some of the people that had done safaris before were complaining that you don't see as many animals when you can't go off the path.
Yeah, we were told that, but I don't think pilot said, oh, I don't see the path and just went. They will be fine
created his
if
own
they're
path.
found to be off.
I'm on the path, I'm on flying path.
Yeah.
Well, they probably know him really well.
Yes, they did know him very well.
If there were any other vehicles around or anybody around, he wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
And we didn't do it a lot.
Look at the feet.
He just let us know he wasn't supposed to go off in certain areas. Some are okay. So here's some elephants with babies. This one was quite tiny. When I first went to Africa, I was really good about doing a daily diary. But this one, I started, but I just didn't keep it. And then I told Pilot I'd like to see some elephants, some mother elephants and babies near a water hole. We found this place that ended up seeing like 45 elephants and babies. And
Wow.
And we were the only ones just kind of,
This place says we were the only ones there.
So did you take this picture?
yeah.
Yeah, that's a really nice picture.
Yeah, I just had that enlarged. Yeah, Wendy has enlarged too.
Yeah.
Well, you can see how the water started to come in the trees. And then we could hear another, oh gosh, maybe 30 elephants came out.
how long is it? No.
Rain when we were there. Their rainy season was before that, usually up till May, maybe. Busy, rainy is like January, February, March,
And this was in
June.
So here's a zebra picture that is so nice. Wayne and I had that one both enlarged. And we did see some ostriches, not many. But the termite mounds are so interesting. They provide food and shelter for anteaters, pangolins, aardvarks. When abandoned, they provide homes for dwarf mongooses, lizards, and snakes. They contain nutrient-rich soil, including minerals and salts that the elephants need. Elephants dig into the mounds with their tusks to access this soil, sometimes consuming large quantities. Their behavior can significantly alter the landscape by creating depressions when it rains. These depressions fill with water, which create new water holes. These mounds go as deep into the earth as they are high. When the clay from the termite mound mixes with water, it creates a nice mud wallow that elephants enjoy. It helps cool them down, and it also protects them from sunburn and flies, and further enlarges the water hole. The water holes become a vital source of resources for a variety of animals. And the elephants get at least six sets of teeth during their lifetime. The teeth get worn down from the tough tree bark and the grasses that they get mixed in with as their food. Some elephants will shake the dirt off. We saw a few doing that before they put it in their mouth. And this young hyena that we saw was chewing on an elephant skull. And then you see a lone bull elephant in the background there. But the elephants don't have baby teeth. Instead, they have the 6 sets of molars, each larger than the last. As new molars grow in the back of the jaw, they move forward, pushing the older worn molars out of the mouth. This molar progression produces larger, more complex molars with each new set. Flocks of guinea fowl along the road and in a tree. Sometimes the flocks are as large as 40 to 50 birds. And what's really, they all run off the road, as you can see. There they go. But then, all of a sudden, they change their mind, and they all come flying back in, right in front of our vehicle. I mean, it's just, it's just so weird. Look at them. And then this is just an example of our morning tea. I'm dressed for 47 to 50 degree temperature, riding in an open vehicle. Who thought Africa was always hot? And here we found a group of lionesses. 3 were nursing females with kittens of various ages. And you see the one lolling on her back was a non-nursing female taking full advantage of her freedom. Contrary to what I have seen on TV documentaries, we never saw a male lion with the females in pride. Not a one.
Oh, I think, well, maybe it wasn't the season.
Yeah, might have been.
Because I thought they were very wary. The last show I saw, they were very wary of the males unless they want to pay them.
Yeah, about
They usually
other
keep their
males.
distance till there's food or they want to breathe. Yeah.
But here we had an interesting situation. When we arrived, I counted about 5 young nursing on this one mom. And one baby said, and look at how close we were to them. Hanging right over top of them. And here we found a female lion arriving, calling her babies out of hiding. So there's one baby, and she can count. Here comes the other one. But she knows there's another one where Big Brother went to get her. She can hardly walk. They're so happy to see her. So we watched them as they moved away from us.
Before she came to her babies, she was over here on a hill and the babies were kind of over here. And Pilot said, if you got out of this vehicle, she would be there in a flash, just so quick.
Protecting her.
Huh?
Oh, yeah.
And this is a better view of those three little ones. And that's a large baobab tree on the left. One of the favorite trees for elephants to chew on. And this tree can be thousands of years old. And the other two trees are good examples of the elephants chewing and trying to get at their minerals and the spongy bark that's filled with water. They're quite striking trees. This was actually one of the scariest experiences we had, but not for us. We were watching these blue giraffes. And then Pilot noticed that laying in the grass on the left, you can see in a minute, I just can't figure the pointer out. You can see two female lionesses laying in that grass. And it's an adult giraffe and three younger ones, one fairly young. And we thought they don't see the lions. So that giraffe goes by. You see the lion's heads there? Just amateurs taking this video, so it's a little thing. And then here comes the second ones. And it seemed like the older ones went first, and I'm thinking, what about the baby? Right by the lionesses, and I'm thinking, oh, it's waiting for the baby. That one goes by even closer. And the little baby was getting a drink of water back there. So finally it comes, completely oblivious to the lions. And nothing.
They must have known something.
Well, Pilot's explanation was that the lions, what happened was that when a large animal like the giraffe see the lions and the lions recognize that their cover is no longer a secret, they will not attack, especially with a giraffe where they can get a good hoof kick. So that was a relief not to have an attack there. And these were the two lionesses that were laying in the grass. Very healthy. This bridge was built for the coming waters of the Okabanga Delta. The water was just starting to reach this area of the delta. We could see a difference in the water level about every 2 days. Pilot said that in another 2 weeks he would not be able to drive on many of the roads that we had been using. And this, you can see how narrow this bridge is. There's a sign that says one vehicle at a time.
I was gonna figure that out.
We had several experiences that we were not able to photograph. Returning to camp, I saw a small dark creature running with its tail straight up. The pilot gave chase in our vehicle, and it was a rarely seen honey badger. One day, Wendy and I were sitting in camp in our lawn chairs enjoying the sunshine. We saw movement to our left. It was a huge bull elephant just walking through camp a stone's throw away. He paid no attention to us, but we had turned to statues.
He went right past our tent, but we were not in
there.
Yeah.
Another time, we were in our vehicle just a few yards from camp, just leaving for our morning. And at the road junction, we saw a lioness coming toward us, just strolling along. Pilot recognized her as one with cubs and figured she had stashed her cubs right next to camp. So we returned to camp to warn the crew. Previously, Wendy and Elena had daily walked a circle that's included this part of the road. Just another exciting day in Botswana. And then on the right, when Wendy arrived home, she was surprised to find a giraffe peeking from behind a tree in her driveway. Pilot is unique among safari guides. He is not only a wildlife expert that grew up in Botswana, he is one of the few guides who will take 2 people for 12 days or 3 days and combine it with a more luxurious camp. He also believes everyone should have an equal view, therefore no one sits in the middle of his vehicle. We saw some vehicles packed for 13 tourists. Pilot asks what you would like to see and tries very hard to find it. This is why he says to his crew, we will return when we find a fish and a tree. As a joke, one time his crew hung a paper fish in a tree. I would have liked to have seen more of the wild dogs, but I know they travel many miles a day to hunt and maybe 30 miles away. However, I did not expect to see the big cats that we saw, especially the cheetahs and leopards. What a special treat.
Look, you've got ending music. Right before it takes to go up.